Candy Podcast, episode 827. 27. Sarah's baking like a toasted cheese over there.
I feel like a potato, like a potato wrapped in foil in the oven that you get out. Oh, hot. Like
Sarah is enduring the tribulations of home ownership.
Guys, let me tell you what is going on. Also, I had to pour myself a glass of wine, and it's the first time I've had wine in a minute.
Oh my God.
And because I can't. Why do I have to pour myself a glass of wine, Suze? Because it's the only liquid in this house. Why is that? Because my water's shut off. Not because I didn't pay a bill. Just because. And nobody informed me. And I had to call the HOA and after spending hours of like looking like what I paid my bill. I don't understand. To pay through the HOA. It says $0 balance. I just moved in. Don't they do that after a month? Don't they warn you?
Your first thought is that you were delinquent.
100% that was. Suze, 100. Tell me that wouldn't be okay. I didn't hear about any construction going on. No context clues that tell me it might not be you.
Right. You thought something went wrong.
I was like, this is like that one parking ticket in San Francisco that ended up with my car impounded. This is that.
Right.
This is what happens when I'm not medicated. I should bring this in as evidence to my psychiatrist.
It's so funny.
Meanwhile,
wait, that's not the worst of it, though. I swear. Like, water off.
Water off.
But the worst is...
the worst is my air conditioning broke. And this is a place... I have a particular apartment where you do need air conditioning. I am at the top of 3 apartments. It is like all of the heat collects into the space that I am recording in. I'm basically doing hot yoga all the time. God. What is it? Chair pose? Chair pose. I'm in like an assisted chair pose right now.
Posing.
Yeah, that's what this in hot yoga. My skin is looking so good. It's so glistening. But you guys don't want to hear me complain about this.
Well, the truth though is, because this is the same in England. Like if you are booking hotels, a lot of them don't have air conditioning because they've never needed it. She has a comically large manual fan that she's using.
Yeah, they did it.
I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a wall hanging, but
no, it's definitely for like a rave or like some sort of like EDM event. This was purchased.
It's like some sort of stage production.
Yes,
fan.
yes. This is like I should be dancing
Voguing.
with this. Yeah.
Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers dance on air.
I'm left-handed, and by the way, fans are not a left-handed item. So if I hold it in my other hand, then
here
I'm
we
okay.
Go.
But they're not.
They're
not designed. I am. See if I do it in the other hand.
That's
how that
a
flips out.
stretch.
I can't do it with that hand because it doesn't go in that direction. It doesn't open that way. Susie, see? It only opens this way. And if you hold it, I could do it backwards, but then you wouldn't see the cool pattern. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fans are directional.
They're not reversible.
They're not left-handed.
Everyone should watch this on YouTube. Our videos are free for all. And in fact, you will be paid in dividends because you'll get to see Sarah's comically large fan. But what I was going to say is a lot of the hotels in England don't have air conditioning because historically they never had the need for it.
Right.
But, now they have like heat waves and stuff. I didn't experience one, unfortunately.
Was it just
I was
so chilly?
shivering.
Shiver me timbers the whole time?
For real.
No, what are we talking? You got
I would
gloomy
wear
days.
like all my luggage every day, like layers of clothes. It was like 50.
You got
lows
June
at
gloom.
42. Low of 42.
Okay, you got the June gloom over there. Lows of 42. Dang.
I mean, and so my point is though that everyone really needs air conditioning now because we've ruined the earth.
Absolutely.
With climate change.
Yeah.
It's not really optional anymore.
And
you gonna be okay?
No, I mean, this? I am. I'm gonna get through this. I'm going to. I'm maybe gonna take some breaks. If I had some ice, I would put some ice packs down, like the combo.
You don't even have ice in that thing?
No, because listen, I'm in an old house.
Yeah.
Old place. I don't have an ice machine.
Do you have an ice box? A Frigidaire?
I have I do. I have a refrigerator, but I have to make my own ice, which would be fine if I had water.
So bad.
It's just right now. But I wish they would have warned me.
The funny
Give
thing
a gal
is,
a heads up. I can't make new ice. I drank. Had I known that, I would have rationed my water.
yeah.
I basically turned this into a full-blown survival situation in my mind. I'm like, I'm in an apocalypse situation. The heat has risen. We are in a drought. I can't bathe.
Well, because if you were stuck there, luckily you can leave. You're not imprisoned. But if you were stuck there, you'd be a goner.
Yeah, I'd give myself
Your only
a few
beverage
days.
is red wine.
That's all I have. That's literally what I'm drinking. I'm so glad I had to put it in the refrigerator. At least it's a little bit cold.
Yeah.
But
all right,
anyways,
we'll get through this. We'll get through it.
we will. Let's talk about some exciting things, shall we? Did you hear about how my actual worst nightmare has come to fruition?
No.
And not in a movie like the other times we've seen it. What are the things that where did my nightmares take place?
Oh no, International Space Station.
Yes!
What happened?
Oh my gosh, you didn't hear about this? How is this at the top of every single news time I open up? Okay, Susie.
I don't
Currently,
think.
this has been going on for some time now. Okay, so at this current moment, there are 2 people stranded. Susie, I motherfucking sent you this on Instagram, and I think you laughed at me because I said it's another Boeing situation.
I said that?
I sent you this. I sent it to you
on... Did I respond?
Maybe. Probably you should have.
Sometimes I miss stuff. You send a lot of stuff.
This is true. Okay.
What?
So.
Wait, I'm scrolling. I gotta find it.
Yeah.
You didn't send it to me.
I did.
No. You didn't. I don't think you did, but all right,
Okay.
What happened?
Okay.
I can't believe it. I would really respond if I knew people were stuck in space.
Yes. 2 Boeing astronauts. So you know how you were talking about the Boeing.
I did hear that they were struggling with their rocket, so I probably thought that's just what you sent me. Just sort of the usual, like
It's going on 2 weeks since they were supposed to be back at land, and they only have 45 days until it's lights out, donezo. This is like one of the that. Like,
I'm so upset. Like, we spent how long talking about that dumb submarine?
Oh, that Susie.
It's the same thing.
That's a really good point. This matters more. I care less about that fucking millionaire than I do about these 2 who are stuck up in outer space. And don't worry, I'll tell you all about them because I think it's very important that we know about the people who are stranded up there. Don't you? Oh my God, I'm gonna get emotional and like cry about the people on the space station. They might actually. This is like a real cult. Like, people need to care.
Are you sure?
Barry Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams remain on the ISS as Boeing and NASA engineers work to repair this. This is from today at 10:28 a.m.
Oh, no. This is terrible. What are we going to do?
See?
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't read it.
No, well,
if you sent it.
It's okay. I send you a lot of stuff. And it was on the, here's what, I feel like there should be a hierarchy. There's like a hierarchy of importance of tools that you use to communicate things. Yeah. I sent it on the this is not very important mode of communication. I should have upped this to text message.
We need like Smokey the Bear level. Of
yes,
it's
red.
Orange.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This should have been sent via text message because it should have been like a
Well, I can't believe nobody's talking about it though because that's a big deal. They must assume they're going to be fine.
So they need to fix a series of helium leaks on the Boeing Starliner spacecraft that has been delayed. And this is one of those stupid things where this has been delayed before. This is not the first time that we've had trouble. And this reminds me, so anytime I read these stories, you know what it reminds me of are all the times we have the catastrophic train incidents where they said, well, we've been checking and, you know, like the collisions or it comes off the rails and there's like a derailment and they're like, well, blah,
we
blah,
told
blah.
them or
It says that it's been delayed several times before its June liftoff. It experienced thruster issues en route to the ISS in addition to the helium leaks, though NASA says that the spacecraft has been, quote, performing well in orbit while docked in the space station. I say not performing so well.
So they have their vehicle.
It's currently docked at the space station, but they're stranded there. Well, they said that they could fly home, but there's like a certain planned allowed mission time, and they're only able to spend 45 days docked on that space station before it's like trouble. And that freaking ISS space station, they need to. It's time for some serious fucking repairs. That thing's like my air conditioning.
Yeah, right.
Honestly,
yeah,
it's older. It's like, or maybe from the same era.
Right.
I wonder what my neighbors think. I yell.
What if it's
so
got like
much.
shag carpet and stuff in there?
It probably does. It's like a real groovy.
That 70s show.
Yeah.
Those
That's how I
beads.
imagine it. I totally imagine the ISS.
I think weird stuff goes on in there.
100%. I tried to watch that movie. There was a movie. It was terrible.
About it?
So it was this whole film where the idea was that
annoyed.
I am annoyed because I thought the movie was terrible. Where there's war breaks out on planet Earth, and it's between Russia and the United States, and the Russians tell the Russian cosmonauts take control of the spacecraft, and then the U.S. get the message, take control of the spacecraft. Meanwhile, they've been working together for years because
this sounds like a good movie.
It sounds like a good one. And then you had some people who are like, we're scientists and science is more important than everything, and that's like the international language. And I'm like, yay. And then that person gets probably murdered or something.
I've never seen you more annoyed than today.
Oh my God. I swear it's the heat. I am at an 11.
It's awful. It's the menopausal rage too, I think.
Okay. I was
take shit.
Susie, also before we even started this, I didn't have time, but I opened up the screen to send my doctor a message because I was like, I gotta write them a letter. I am not myself. I am going to murder somebody. I mean, that's not an admission. Please don't take it as that. Edit that out.
Right. You don't feel like yourself.
I mean that in jest. I don't feel like myself.
That's
just
terrible.
like
I mean,
I'm like, I don't
like
know
you like
what.
this. I don't see a problem.
Yeah, it's good if you know that I'm joking, but I think some people like, you know, kind of like the marina captain that I yelled at the other day.
I know what will help. It is Factor meals, and it's literally the only thing in her apartment that could save her life right now.
It's
her house, I should say.
It just kept me. I ate that for lunch. I had a delicious macaroni and cheese with like a pork bolognese, like with a side of zucchini and like succotash.
Wow.
And corn. It was so good.
I know. They don't get enough credit.
I give them all the credit because people message me all the time and they're like, "Is it really that good?"
Yeah.
Oh my! I don't.
You think it's
I'm sorry.
What is this, a TV dinner? You think it's gonna be like?
It's not. It's not. And I have had the healthy meals. I have done the stuff that's like, oh, this is so good for you, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's tasted, guess what? Exactly like the freaking rabbit food it claims to be. Not this. Factor is that cauliflower mashed potato. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's like rice, cauliflower rice or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How do they make it so damn creamy?
Yeah, right. That's what I want to know. Because I want to do that.
So good. 10 out of 10. Don't take my word for it. Try it, and you can try it for 50% off. I already know because I use that coupon code myself because it's my favorite thing. And then you keep getting discounts.
Well, and she's telling the truth because this gal is not pulling any punches today. So
no,
she would tell us.
Telling it how it is, people.
So these meals are chef crafted. They're delivered to your door. You can get Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, whatever you're into. But they taste like you're at a restaurant. It's not like, oh, this is all I have. It'll do. It's not like that at all. These are great restaurant quality meals, premium ingredients, filet mignon, shrimp, blackened salmon. But you don't have to cook it. You don't have to do anything. You heat it up. You're not an animal. But you don't have to do anything. Head to factormeals.com/braincandy50. Use code braincandy50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code braincandy50 at factormeals.com/braincandy50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. I mean, just try it.
Try it. You're going to love it.
It's such a great solution.
I'm thinking of having them take over breakfast and lunch too.
Right?
Because
problem solved.
And I got to worry about, do I have water? I don't want that problem again. And don't have to worry about it. My microwave always works. No problem.
Right. That's right.
Speaking of, this is like an aside, and wasn't one of the stories I want to share, but I had no idea how popular that video, I posted a video on Instagram of me just peeling off the plastic covering that I discovered on my microwave, which, by the way, was like better than any orgasm I've ever had in my life. I didn't know people loved that so much.
I think there's a whole like subculture.
Community. Oh, okay. This is like the ASMR thing, huh?
Yeah, I think.
But for good tingly feelings. Mm-hmm. That's actually, I gave myself a nice segue because one of the things that I did have to talk about, I was going to save it for later after I talk about these spacemen, but I can talk about it now, is the thing that happens with music where you get like all the tinglies, that it's called, I never knew what it was called, that it's called music frisson. Yeah. And there are certain bands and everything that are starting to play for this specific feeling.
You're kidding.
Yeah. And there are playlists now that if you go on Spotify, I am learning so much about music and the power of music and the frequencies of it on the other podcast, Things We Got Wrong. No, that's our other one. This Changes Everything. On the one without you, Suze. I talked to a woman who specializes in sound healing.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I did not. It was so good.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like pitching my own other show.
I gotta tune in.
It was really good. And also that was like a nice music pun. But I love it. And I feel like we are only uncracked, like just starting to
That's what I mean.
open.
Math and music are the secrets to the universe.
Yeah, yeah.
And music is math. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But wait, what do they do to the songs to make them give you the tingles?
Oh, okay. So I have so much about music today. I don't even know. I'm like jumping all over the place because I've got this, and then I've got stuff about
I'll just
bird
go
songs.
where you take me.
Yeah, you're so kind. So this is what I didn't know that now I'm like obsessed with all of the science behind how music stimulates you in a positive way. Neuroscientists are really into this too. And it's one of those things where I feel like we are learning now what ancient times they were like, yeah, duh. Like the ancient Egyptians are like, yeah, we built buildings around this shit. You guys are like, they would roll their eyes about this. So frisson is this physiological reaction that's only experienced by half to 2/3 of the population, that's triggered by stimuli, usually music, art, or film. And it's a rush of neurotransmitters, dopamine, through the body, evoking a sense of exhilaration and pleasure. I don't know why we would make any music that doesn't do this. But the thing that it kind of, I don't know, is in the same category as to me is dreams, because science still has absolutely no definitive answer for why this occurs. and they just call it this ghostly pleasurable experience.
So you're saying like that it's mysterious why certain music has this effect?
And the purpose of it. Like, why would we do this? So some people say that the hypothesis is that this musical chills phenomenon is something that has to do, like, to elicit different responses from the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. So really, like, it's just to calm you down. But it's interesting that humans could create something that just calms you down.
I wouldn't
in and
even
of
say
itself
that's the effect I've noticed. It's not like it. I feel like,
oh, that's true.
you know,
Like regulate. Do you feel
sleepy.
emotionally regulated?
I usually just feel like impassioned.
Exhilarated.
It's like it's the opposite. Where I'm like, it's so inspired or whatever.
Okay, so the song that I think does it, one of the song that does it the most is.
Yeah, you said Taylor Swift.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. That one that goes, uh-oh.
Oh, that does it for me.
Yeah.
But then I think there's one that's very universal. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it for you.
Okay.
Everything in its right place. The opening. Radiohead. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Do you feel that with that song? Just that opening?
No, I didn't get chills.
Oh, I get that so intensely from that song.
Okay, every time.
Okay, every single time. So now I'm wondering if you have to have an emotional connection to that song as well.
Yeah. Right. And because
when
is
they
Frisian
say-
the same for everyone?
It did not say that at all anywhere in what I found, that it differentiates, because then that makes me think, if their research, it just said that half to 2/3 experience this, but half to 2/3 experience that only with certain songs? Or what if
Right.
you experience it with different songs than I experience it with?
Yeah, right. Because when you hear that, what do you feel? Just tingly.
Like a tingly, like the same feeling that you get when you get a massage, but then also it's like this is going to sound so hippity-dippity, but like some like third eye, like chakra shit. Like I feel it like in the back of my neck and like in my forehead.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
but that's
cool.
probably just where hormones get released, like in your pituitary gland and like something like that.
Well, but do you think that it's because I guess I always thought it was like mathematical, where it's like the particular notes and volume and whatever, everything that goes into music cause.
But why?
Right. But if it's different for different people, then that sounds
Right.
more emotional rather than.
And there's got to be
Algorithmic.
like everything you can point to some benefit, you know? Like, oh, we have long eyelashes to keep the sand out of ours. We have body hair to keep the mosquitoes away. Like everything is very explainable, I feel. Even like a desire for certain tastes. Or I like sweet because of
I can understand
going
why the benefit of music, because it can create cohesion. We need community.
Yeah.
We have to act in unity. That's important. And also like the voice of your mother and how, it's soothing to a baby, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know why certain melodies or whatever would cause like almost like an arousal.
Yeah. And it says that this frisson can lead to feelings of pleasure and inspiration, increased openness to experience,
Yeah.
and stress relief.
Yeah.
Those
Right.
have some evolutionary benefits, definitely.
Yeah, but you have to wonder, like, where would the music be coming from, evolutionarily speaking?
Okay. I'm glad you asked
Glad
that.
you asked.
That's my next segue. So this is like, a lot of these were just like cute little facts that I found that all kind of tied together. So there's, how do you feel about bird noises?
I mean, sometimes they're a little annoying,
Okay, but have you ever like,
but I do like a bird song.
yeah. So
Just they get a little repetitive.
the reason bird songs are so relaxing is because it's like in us from way, way long ago that when birds are chirping, there are no predators around. Because as soon as predators come around, the birds will go.
They zip it.
They zip it.
I wish they'd see me as a predator sometimes then, because sometimes I'm like, enough already. I feel like that guy in Steel Magnolias that like shoots the tree.
Oh my God, I love that part of the movie. It's
Just
so
because they go
good.
on, and it's the same like 4 notes.
I love that
Sarah,
movie.
you feel bad for. Oh no, don't cry about it again.
No, I won't. I won't.
Okay, yeah. So you're telling me they feel safe, so they're like tweet tweet.
Yep. That's it. They stop chirping when there are predators around, and so anytime that we hear birds chirping, it tells us like on
We're
a subconscious
safe.
level that
Yeah.
we're okay, we're
Yeah,
safe,
that
we
makes
don't have to
sense.
worry about anything, and we get to just feel relaxed.
I
So I
would- I
wonder
get that.
if there's something about the certain notes and the things that maybe animals create or that birds create that like
Right. Then
are
we replicate.
duplicated and then we replicate it.
Yeah.
Or like certain, or maybe other things too. Like, cause I get this anytime I travel, whenever I go visit my mom in Costa Rica, when I was traveling for the challenges, even before she lived there, this was like one of the reasons that she repeats the story all the time. She says it's like one of the reasons why she moved there. But I was in Costa Rica and I was like, Mom, every single thing we have is like inspired by nature. Like you look at the flowers and the flowers look like cups, like the water filled up in the flowers and the birds were coming by and drinking out of that. And I'm like, yeah, of course we invented cups. Like look at how everything is like reflected. Everything that we see in nature is reflected back. And I feel like we've just kind of done that with music. So the music that maybe nature creates that we
that makes sense.
listen, that has some naturally like really calming,
Right.
like the sound of, I don't know, the inside of a freaking cave. And I can see a band like Radiohead wanting to create that same kind of experience.
What happened to the half or 1/3 of the population who doesn't have that?
That's actually a really good question.
Because that's troubling. I always, whenever someone's like, I'm not into music, I'm like, you're suspicious.
I think the same thing for people who say I don't like animals or like I get it if you had like a terrible experience, but just all of them, all music, all art, all.
Yeah.
But maybe it's one of those things where you are like resistant to feelings, like maybe numbed at, like you don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what you would call that. That makes me very sad for those people where it's like I can't connect to anything because connecting to something feels dangerous, so it's easier for me to just feel nothing and stimulate myself in any way.
Mm-hmm.
And those people probably usually numb out to the world in some way, I would imagine, in
Yeah.
the people who don't like music or don't like, you know. Do you know people like that? You say I don't
Yeah,
like
the
music?
people that I know that are like that are either on the spectrum,
Oh,
like it doesn't connect with them emotionally, or people that have had like severe trauma in their childhood, which
Yeah.
is what you're describing, where you like, wall yourself off a bit,
oh yeah, yeah.
I can see that, but it's so like for me antithetical to the human experience that it makes me uncomfortable when someone
Yeah.
says they don't like the things that for me make life worth living.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, then what? Why do you even
Right.
bother?
What's the point?
Yeah,
the
what's
point?
the point?
So some of those other reasons why we get musical chills, I think we mentioned a little bit of this. Dopamine release. We get all of those that's I think the feeling that I get maybe in my head. Then music evokes those deep emotions, sometimes recalling personal memories, social bonding. I think that's kind of what you were mentioning.
Yeah.
And then there's also theories that it's a survival mechanism, that some other hypothesis is that chills are this response from our ancestors who may have used auditory clues to signal safety or danger. And to me, that's where the birds come in.
Mm.
And so I read this and I was like, oh, Well, then I also read the Little Birdie article that said that. So that seems like
Yeah.
that makes sense to me. They're cues that because why would you sing to like everything's okay?
Right.
It'd
But
be
it's
weird
weird,
to
though,
break out into a
because-
song in the middle of a battle or like, unless it's a Disney movie.
Yeah. But like, goosebumps are I mean, it's the whole range of arousal. So sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's like joy, sometimes it's other sentimentality or whatever. But I don't know, like you would think if it's supposed to be telling you you're safe, that
Right.
wouldn't create goosebumps, because goosebumps are more like on guard, kind of,
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know what? I never thought about that. And that's kind of the same thing as when I say that what's the physiological difference between being excited and being nervous? And they're very similar. That there is a big overlap in that as well as like that goosebumps, I'm scared, aroused.
You're just aroused. Yeah. Right.
Interesting.
Well, because like
so
they
many things are a
theorize-
label problem where we feel things, experience things, and then label them in a split second as this is that, and it's not.
Yeah.
This is fear. This is nerves. This is danger. It's just arousal.
They theorize about how we used to be covered in fur, and that like when my cats get scared and then their fur goes big, like they get. You've seen the cartoons of cats when they're scared and their hair goes all crazy. I feel like that's what goosebumps are. Is they're trying to get your hair up, to puff it all out, but we don't really have any, so it's just this weird, disgusting skin instead. But yeah, like it can be indicating a whole range of emotional
things.
Yeah.
I just love that, and I love learning more about music, and I love learning anything like that about how, like, I just think that we are going to see all of these old and ancient technologies, techniques, whatever, just become more scientifically, no pun intended, sound and grounded. As
I keep seeing headlines even about gorillas and like, they use aloe, or they put them on their cuts. And
how about I
that?
saw that too. The medicine for healing, like that we're not. We were saying
like,
this
I'll be
with
darned.
the dogs, with the dogs and the facial features. How we anthropomorphize. I think that is one of the biggest mistakes that we make, is anthropomorphizing things and applying human, like seeing things through a human lens. And we do it like. And we could even say that about like white people thinking their experience is like everybody else's experience. It gets down, or like, men thinking their experience is like all. That's how we end up with crash test dummies that don't represent the rest of the population. We need to think what is different than how I experience it.
I feel like that situation with how they only do medical tests on men, really, because women get periods, and so it's this complication that scientists can't really afford to accommodate, because it's not just a variable, it's a variable that varies through the whole month. And so they're just like, never mind, we'll just look at men. I don't feel like that's going to be remedied.
No, I don't either.
So
can
like,
they gather up?
Can they
gather up all gals like me? I'm like,
I wonder.
I don't have any variation.
For crash test dummy and all medical testing.
No periods to get in the way. But you got to pay your top dollar.
She's available for a price.
I want a ton of money.
She wants an air conditioner, like you wouldn't believe.
So bad. The shit I would do.
I'll
for
tell
an
you
air
what she really
conditioner.
wants is some more Thrive Cosmetics.
Oh, I actually do need more. It's time for my summer color.
Oh, how nice! Are you,
You
gonna
know?
freshen up?
Well, I am not the same color during the winter as I am as soon as I get outdoors a couple times. So I need to get some new concealer, because I got into some good lighting and I was like, oh, that needs some. You need. And don't worry,
shade.
they've got color match guarantee, and they're super easy with returns, if anything like that. That's happened to me before where I've been like, oh, it's not quite my color. And they sent me a new one before I even had the old one, like, to them, which I loved. They were like, we'll take care of you. We know you don't want to go a day without makeup.
Well, and I don't know if you got any, but I got the Christmas came. They sent a bunch of the new matte semi-permanent lip, I guess it'd be...
Nice.
It's not lip liner and it's not lipstick. What are they called? Lip color?
Oh.
You know, where it's like you put it on like a pencil. I think it's a pencil. Crayon.
Yeah.
And like
all
it
those
stays
work.
on 12 hours. I have it on now.
Whoa.
And my favorite shade is called Linda.
No, it's not.
Yeah. They're all named gal names. But this stuff is so great because you know how usually you put on that kind of a crayon or lipstick and you feel like it's encased in like cement.
Yes.
It's not that.
The worst feeling. Yeah.
I hate it. But these were not like that at all. And now I can go with my Liquid Lash Extensions mascara and all the amazing products that we keep squawking about because they are my all-time favorites. You can have them too. Refresh your everyday look like Sarah's going to do with Thrive Cosmetics, luxury beauty that gives back because they support all kinds of great organizations. They give money to help communities thrive. Right now, you can get an exclusive 10% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/braincandy for 10% off your first order. I am a loyalist for life.
Yeah.
They are the best. All right, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay.
What?
I do want to go back because I have to talk about this in my discussion about the ISS, the International Space Station. I know we left that, but I have to go back because I wrote this in my notes. I figured out why that is my number one place that I'm fearful of.
I can't wait to hear this.
I made a huge list about the similarities between living on the International Space Station and being on MTV's Real World.
No.
It's the same thing.
I totally get it, but I can't wait to hear the list. But I am at that point too where I'm like, everything connects to that to me.
Am I that? Did I just do this? Did I just say that? I'm gonna give. I have evidence that I didn't
I feel the same way. Like people probably think we're crazy.
You know what? A McDonald's hamburger has in common with the Real World house.
But I mean, it's true. But I can't wait to hear. Tell me how it's the same.
Social dynamics. Could it be the close living quarters? Small group of people in close living quarters, strong interpersonal relationships, conflict. You have to do conflict resolution, teamwork and cooperation. The success in both situations relies on the teamwork and cooperation of the individuals participating. And I felt like my castmates in a way didn't gel with me, or I felt like kind of betrayed.
You were like an outsider.
Not all of them, but I felt like that was some of them definitely. And so then I think, what if I were the outsider on the International Space Station? Nightmare. They have to work together to conduct experiments in the same way we have to work together in work. Mm-hmm. Diverse personalities that you have no control over, and they just bring together those people, but they all usually have one common thread between all of them of I don't know, whatever it is. Where you're just similar and Then environmental conditions, controlled environment, controlled living environment, regulated air quality, temperature, and lighting. All of them to create specific. They can't control anything.
There's no light switches. It's all done back home on Earth.
Yeah, because they got to keep them on their circadian rhythms and all that.
Yeah,
they got to keep that regulated,
programmed,
and so they got to they have a bedtime. It's a whole thing. It's like us. I'm telling you, it's the same thing. Scheduled daily activities, structured schedules. Timetable for everything that they do. They have to communicate and follow the orders of a mission control In the Real World House, participants have scheduled activities, challenges, and events organized by the production team.
Mm-hmm.
Documentation and observation. The whole entire time you are on the ISS and in a Real World House, you are thoroughly documented, monitored, recorded. Feels like a fishbowl.
Mm-hmm.
Stress and coping mechanisms. Pretty much none. And high. High and none.
Zero.
They're
sober, though.
We could probably go for that.
Yeah, I think that might be better for the real world experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. So before you were in the real world, did you not have a fear of
Nope.
the international?
Nope, not at all. I'm just saying. I don't know if I don't know chicken or egg, but I think it's an interesting thing too.
Does it give you any like encouragement that you did survive the one of them?
That's nice to think. I mean, it's not exactly making me want to sign up to go to space anytime soon. I still am like, fuck that. I like even scuba diving now. I'm
well,
like,
they don't have air. I mean,
it feels like I don't have air, honestly.
They don't have air conditioning.
You know what the ISS and my apartment have in common?
You can't breathe in either one.
I can't breathe.
I'm so sorry.
Where
did you get that fan? Croatia?
No, this was one of Eli's friends gave this to me.
Oh yeah, like from their techno dance parties or whatever.
Yeah, techno dance parties. When you get roofied at an event, sometimes people give you merch.
Just you don't have to elaborate. Just a yes or no will suffice. But have you thought back about that night at all since the breakup?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Not like people roofied me, but just like with general care and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the other one too. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Don't say that, Sarah. I'm totally joking. No, yeah, no, well, that's true of any breakup. You look back and you like reframe.
So many, I
stuff.
do that. I do that with all of that, where I'm just like, oh. Well, I told you when my therapist pointed out that the thing because she asked me, what do you have? I really am all over the place with the conversation today. Now we're like everywhere. But when she asked me like, what do all these partners see as some like attractive about you? What do you bring to the table? And I listed, I don't need anything. Like
I mean, it is great. Like traveling with you,
it's great.
I was reflecting on how we were in Brazil for a month,
trip.
and I was like, "Wait, it couldn't have been a month. Were we there?" And I was like, "That's nuts! Just like two gals."
Was that not the best time?
It was the best.
I am so glad that we did that because that is we would have never gotten to do that any other time in our life. We got a month of shenanigans.
Yeah.
Playing, learning, grow. Everybody, you just say yes to everything. Listen, as an old menopausal woman, you got to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Do it all. Friendships are the most valuable and the most important. I mean, relationships are wonderful too, but like see carpe that diem all day long. And you know what? That is also a good segue for another story I have to tell.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So we're going to be excited and happy for this one gal, but we're also going to be mad at one of our favorite things to be mad at that's not Everest. What is an organization, group / thing?
Oh, Guinness World Book of Records.
Yes! I love when we play this game.
Yeah, that's easy.
Oh,
Guinness World Book of Records.
Of course.
Those jackasses.
Oh, I love you so much. I love this show. It's just the best. And I know all of our listeners are like screaming like
what's wrong
I know the listeners that are screaming Guinness Book of Records. Like I can hear them. They know, and you guys know. I can't wait to tell you who you are at Brain Candy Book Club, but you already know. Okay, so this story is about, so Guinness Book of Records. You may, if you were to open the book up right now and you were to look up who is the youngest person to circumnavigate the globe via boat, you will find in there somebody who's over the age of 18. But that will be a lie because they are not the first person. The first person to do that, or the youngest, not the first, the youngest person to do it, is a girl named Laura Decker, who did it at 14 years old. And can we
all
also
by herself, like a lunatic?
Like a lunatic.
Laura Decker.
Laura, first of all, last name Decker, deck of a boat, ship. Come on. Are we not going to talk about that?
Obviously.
She did this. I mean, it makes sense that that's her name. So she was born on a boat in New Zealand and lived most of her early life on sailing vessels and just grew up with this I mean, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's just fine. By the age of 6, she was already sailing solo. And
What?
by the age of 10, she had crossed the English Channel.
By herself?
She knows what she's doing.
That's nuts.
And you know what? If you know, like, it to me, it's like if you know the tools, what's the difference between, like, I rode my bike down the street and I crossed the English Channel?
Man, a lot of things are different.
If you know the tools, if you know the...
It's because sometimes the sea is so... It's just like...
So is a car crossing the street.
Yeah.
I think you're
all the
more...
creatures.
I think you're... What about all the creatures? You know I was talking about dudes. I feel like she's safer out in the water with all the skills.
Okay. All right, you're right. It's the same. Okay, it's the same.
This is also why I don't have children. And it's like when I say, yeah, that show's fine for kids.
Get off your bike, like you could just get off.
I know, Susie.
Okay.
You're 100% right. I totally agree with you. But it is funny watching you try to defend / also support me in this. Like, defend your position.
Principally, I get it. So you're saying, like, it's just about familiarity.
Yeah, familiarity.
Yeah.
And at 14 is young, but, you know, if she were a 14-year-old boy, and this, would we really be like,
yeah,
what's a 14-year-old boy doing out there? No, it'd be
That's
like,
true.
go get it, Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer. That was not a joke. That was meant.
Go ahead.
Okay. You want to hear about Laura Decker?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Laura departed on her journey in 2010 from Gibraltar. She sailed a 38-foot yacht that happened to be named Guppy, which is adorable. And she went through the Canary Islands, the Caribbean, the Panama Canal, Galapagos, Australia, Indian Ocean, around the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa, and completed her journey by January 12th of 2012. So it took her almost like 2 years.
That is crazy.
She arrived.
Did she stop and like hang out with people?
Yeah, I'm sure. She arrived because you got to like refuel and do all that stuff and fuel up. And your food and like all that. And
it's like I do not understand boats.
She made it all the way around. We watched that journey about the women who went around.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
but when you said fuel, I just got confused.
Yeah, you know, they probably need fuel, gas for like motor and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But sailing implies that she's using a sail.
Wow, I didn't even know.
She landed at the age of 16.
She had no other people on this boat, or she had a crew?
No other people on this boat. Solo.
How do you do that?
Solo circumnavigating it. She's the youngest person to sail solo around the world. She documented, right? Thank you. That is what I was looking for. Badass bitch of the week. She documented her journey and she wrote a memoir about it called One Girl, One Dream. And she's like an amazing inspiration for so many young people but the interesting thing is she faced a lot of like court battles with this because her parents she had to prove that there were all these like, you know, people were like, she should be in school and they were worried about her education. So originally the Dutch authorities and child protection agencies came in and they with concerns about her safety and education. I'm sorry, but if you're a 14-year-old who has all the skills to circumnavigate the globe,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about your education or your.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Because what you need is you need to know how to learn. And I guarantee you, she knows how to learn.
Right.
Because she knows a lot of fucking stuff and had to learn a lot of stuff to be able to do that.
Once they can read and write, you're out of the woods. It's
right.
fine.
And eventually they had this prolonged legal battle with the Dutch courts, but eventually they allowed her to proceed under the condition that her education would not suffer and that safety measures would be in place. Okay, fine.
Yeah, fine. Shut up.
Go ahead. Shut up. Right. I love it.
What I want to know though is why she is not wearing the crown from.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
That's right. I buried the lead.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened? What'd they do? This idiot with the clipboard. I hate this guy.
At the time of her journey, the Guinness World Records had a policy to not recognize youngest achievements for any dangerous activities. So they considered and that included solo sailing navigation, because they wanted to discourage other young individuals from attempting anything that could potentially
understand
be
that.
hazardous.
Okay.
So they didn't. She's not included.
Yeah, but you're telling me they've given it to someone else though, because like then they decided who cares. They
didn't list it.
blanche.
I think they didn't include that.
Oh, so there's not somebody else in her
I
stead.
think it's like, it doesn't say like this person said, just like
so
not.
that's still their policy.
That's their policy. They won't
Right.
ever include the youngest.
I don't mind that too much, but
Yeah.
I do think she should get more like publicity.
They won't recognize her record. So you can write into Guinness Book of Records for saying, I have eaten the most donuts while spinning around on a unicycle.
Right.
And they'll be like, here you go. But if you did some amazing feat, like circumnavigated the globe, and you're the youngest person to do so, you will not get recognized by Guinness Book of Records.
Huh.
I feel like they should give her I don't know. That is kind of true, because
She could just get a lifetime achievement award,
Yeah.
and they don't have to say youngest about anything.
Yeah, like a post, like once you turn 18 or something like that. Yeah, like a lifetime achievement. Like you should get recognized for it or something.
Yes, I agree. Do you think that rule is good or not?
When I
Kinda
think
like
about it, I do. When I think about what that could encourage and how fucking dumb kids are.
Yeah.
And they're already the ones
Most
who are going
people
for
aren't
highest.
Laura Decker.
Right. Most people are not. That I could see that being dangerous. And the amount of precautions that were in place before, I think that is very important.
What's she doing now? That was a long time ago. We'll have to look her up.
Yeah, right now she is. I do have some information on it. She continues to be involved in sailing and maritime education, and she advocates for youth sailing and participates in various sailing events and projects worldwide. And she founded the Laura Decker World Sailing Foundation that encourages young people to pursue sailing and adventure.
Wow. Tip of the hat to Laura Decker.
Yeah. I think she and those gals of the
Maiden Voyage.
The Maiden Voyage should get together, and like I'm sure they have.
Yeah, because that's a very small group of women who do those, what are they called? Long haul, whatever they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not have any desire. It
I don't
sounds
either.
terrible.
Yeah.
Some people really thrive in suffering though.
I was saying I could be on a boat for an extended period of time.
You absolutely could.
And I would
you
be
feel like you
really
couldn't now because you're really hot and you're like, I don't want to be uncomfortable.
No, now I'd love to get me in the water. A boat sounds great.
I feel like you're one of those people that for some reason you really do like come alive whenever the tough gets, or the shit gets tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
definitely
why.
do.
I am not that kind of gal.
Well, people thrive during different times. It's either
I thrive when things are great.
it could be in the building. There was the author who wrote that book, Life is in the Transitions, that talks about those life quakes that we go through. We've talked about it on here. And they said there's different times. You either are good during, like in the rebuilding after, or in the starting of something new. Like that there different people thrive in, like, I can't remember exactly what it is, but in each one of those different situations. And I could be in the shit thriver, but maybe I'm not as good at the, like,
well, I know when you're not
rebuilding.
good. It's when like
Things are good.
everything's good and that feels boring to you. You know, it's like you mistake peace for like boredom.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
My body's like, let's just mix it up and get a hysterectomy.
I just rewatched the clip of Tig Notaro when she was talking about how she had been fairly flat-chested before she got breast cancer, and she always like made fun of them, her boobs, and then she got breast cancer. And she was like, maybe they overheard me and said, you know what?
We're out of here.
Let's kill her.
That's how I feel about, maybe it's my fucking fault for putting 2 tattoos of revolver guns aiming right at my reproductive organs. And maybe my reproductive organs were like, well, fuck you then. We're out. Oh, you want us dead? Well, we're dead.
It does make you wonder.
It makes you wonder. Just say it.
Sarah, thank you for all of those great stories.
I was all over the place today. It's the heat. It's the wine.
This was a true joy.
It's the fact that I don't have water, but it's not any fault of my own.
You can't even hydrate. Where's your? You just be like eating liquid IV packets.
I will have to dump the liquid IV packets right into my mouth.
Do you think that would work? Or does there have to be?
I can't imagine it's good.
A water molecule.
I think it does. I think we need.
We should write them.
A water molecule.
Dear liquid IV. Hey, how come you didn't watch Jim Henson while I was away? I thought you would.
I haven't watched anything.
Taskmaster.
It's the damn Taskmaster. Well, maybe for a long time I didn't have. I had to just like to get everything set up. I like didn't hang my TV. I had to set up an office. I had to like do things. I had to, because that. Oh, here's the water company.
All right, Sarah's gonna take her call, and I'm gonna say goodbye to you. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to use our codes, and you go ahead, Sarah.
Hello.
And leave us a review. Sarah's gonna talk to the water company. We'll see you next time. Bye.